AI works when you feed it data, and it has to be a two-way relationship. It's got to be actionable or agentic AI. And so we have the opportunity to feed more data so that it can be actionable. And we're doing that now, and that's going to be super exciting. It's going to unlock a ton of capability.
Hi, so excited to share today's Radically Personal episode. We have Adam Seed from Ulta Beauty. Adam has been on this incredible journey with Gladly for many years, and we're going to chat about that whole journey, his experience, his start as a young teenager in customer experience to his role today in leading one of the best brands in retail today at Ulta Beauty. Adam, thanks for sitting down and having this conversation today. I'm so excited to chat with you and talk about all things CX and Ulta and AI. And it'd be great to share a little bit about your story first and Ulta's story. You have been a part of this incredible journey at Ulta for the past, we've been involved for 6 years, but maybe just share like what that's been like and tell us your story.
I'll go back a little bit if that's okay.
You can totally go back. Started out where you were born.
I'll go a little bit
further
there. However, I will say that I think it's important to know that I've been doing this kind of work since I always say a young punk in high school. I really was. So age 17, I was on the phones and I was selling in high school. And the reason for that is you can make some pretty big bucks doing that. So when you're a kid in Iowa, you either detassel in the summer, which I'll let you research what that means.
It's Googleable. I won't get into trouble.
Corn stalks and whatnot.
Okay.
100-degree weather.
Detassel.
Or you could do this kind of work, which was accessible, and you can make some really good money doing so. But it really opened you up to having a personality on the phone, since that's how all the business was being done. No chat, email, text in those days. So anyway, I progressed. I was going to school, pre-engineering track, and it just worked out really, really well. I was doing really good. Started opening up contact centers on the road, getting bigger roles. 13 years with that company, APAC Customer Care. And then 13 years at Nordstrom, head of care. And then Ulta, past 8 years now at Ulta. It's gone by super fast. So I think in this business, you really figure out within a year, it either eats you alive and you do not like it, or you love it and you're really good at it. I took the bait, I loved it, and I'm still doing it.
That's so great. And now Ulta has also just had, and is on just an incredible path to describe it. The business has just grown during this period dramatically and so much in front of it.
It's incredible. I will say, when I first started, we were opening up 100 stores a year for 5 years consecutively. And that's a store every 3 days. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you think about that.
Your stores are big.
They're 10,000 square foot, jam-packed with product wall to wall, high dollars per square foot, easily locatable, drive right up to the front door and park. That's an awesome service to guests. And, back in that day, you're growing physically. And then you look at this year and it's incredible how much we're still growing. We acquired Space NK in July, the summer. That was exciting. So that was our first go into the international market. It felt great to be an international company. And then we went into Mexico. That's exciting. We went into the Middle East just recently. That's exciting. And then Marketplace. We debuted Marketplace, which we have 600 brands Marketplace. We've already added another 100 brands. So we are growing in many ways right now, and it's awesome to be an international company.
It's exciting. One of the things that seems very unique about Ulta, the percentage of revenue that comes from your guests that are part of the loyalty program is super high. Share a little about the ethos of loyalty at Ulta and how that plays out.
You're right. Now we say we have over 45 million members. So now we compare ourselves to California, California population. And we think this is such an important differentiator to our guests. And, well over 95% of our sales come from our members. So we know our members.
95% of your revenue or sales is coming from people That's part of your loyalty.
That's right.
The
So we have that information. We need to do good with that information. So we're constantly challenging ourselves to be hyper personal with offers. We want to know our guests. We want to know where they shop. We want to make the app, we want to be app first and make the app a must have for our guests to maximize the value of our loyalty program, which is, it's one of the best around. I mean, if you're going to shop beauty, you owe it to yourself to be a member at Ulta Beauty. It's incredible the kind of reward you get and the kind of selection that we have. So, and plus we're offering salon services. We have a salon in every store. And so it's a great sort of like end-to-end experience for the guest. And it all starts with that loyalty membership.
So loyalty has been a really big part of the culture of the company, the business of the company. And now we've got this whole new wave in technology around AI. How are you thinking about marrying those two things? Because I think some people might say that maybe they compete, maybe there's tension between the two, or do you see them as something that actually builds together? How do you think about AI in this world of focusing on loyalty?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say, number one, we always want our associates, our humans in the loop. We want to make sure that we're very thoughtful at introducing means to solve problems and to marry up products with the guest needs and do that in a very thoughtful way and a careful way. So we may not be the first to party on some things, first to the party, but we will be a fast follow once we really have a sense of what that guest experience is and also what the failovers may be if we need to get humans in the loop. And so I think there's always going to be that marriage of technology and
People together,
our
working
people,
together, yeah.
for sure. But I think it's finding product. As we scale our products, we want it to be very easy to find products. Our services, we want it to be very easy to set up an appointment with your stylist, have a great experience, buy some product probably with your service. So we have a lot of product in our stores. So when you walk into our stores, it can be a ton of fun or overwhelming. And we want to make that experience very easy to help you locate product. And plus, we're omni-channel. We want our assets, we want our app and our desktop to be very friendly in helping you understand what inventory is where so that you can go buy and pick up inventory if you'd like, or place an order, whatever's most convenient for you at the time. But I think marrying that technology is been very, very helpful for our guests.
And how do you think about, like one of the things we talk a lot about, and when we started the company, like our whole, as you know, and I mean, you're one of our first customers, our focus was always like, look, we really wanted to put the guest back at the center of the guest experience. We felt like so much of the customer service and customer experience software kind of lost sight of that. It was tickets and cases and, very siloed. And, you had this belief and we met and was like, hey, let's put the guest back at the center. The last several months, you've now been investing in AI to help with that guest experience.
I think initially we found that we're trying to install different functions in silos. So it was, you launch chat and then you launch text and
Right.
is that married together? And then you want to introduce a chat bot. When that hands off the specialist, does your specialist have that conversation and know how to pick it up and serve the guest effectively? And so I think when we talked back in 2020 when we launched, bringing everything under one roof was the start. It was sort of the foundation. You had your conversation. You could talk with the guest across all media. You could text the guest back and forth, and you wouldn't lose sight of that experience and that conversation. And that also helps us go back and piece things together. If we have a piece of friction, say, in the experience, in the customer journey, we could go pinpoint where that happened and what we need to do to solve it, and then work with our business partners at Ulta Beauty on where the root cause is. So I think, first of all, having that foundation was key. And then now that we're layering on AI, it's not losing sight of the human in the loop, not having disconnected experiences that then you have to sort of tape together, which is really ineffective. And we're trying to move very fast. So yeah, keeping it based on that foundation and having that total experience be accessible.
If I just describe what you're saying, your approach is to say, hey, this is just another way that your guests are going to engage with Ulta. It should be part of the overall experience. Um, and it should still be centered on that model of keeping the guest at the center of that conversation.
Yeah,
And that conversation could still be happening on lots of different channels. And it might be a human associate that's having it. It might be AI, and it might be go back and forth between them.
that's
And
right. I
yeah,
mean, for example, let's say you want to cancel your order for whatever reason. We want to make that very fast and easy for you. And
right.
you're going against the clock if you have 60 minutes to cancel your order. So using AI like we're using today is great. The guest can go get their order
There's no
canceled.
wait.
There's no wait. It's very crisp and consistent.
Right.
And it's a great service. So in that aspect, I mean, it's a one up from having to
Yeah, it's
wait.
an enabler. It's actually a better experience
It
in
is.
that case, because the operational clock, as you say, as soon as you place that order online, you have an hour before
It's
it's like
ticking.
it's going.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Yeah.
starting to go down that proverbial conveyor belt, and so having it so that there's instant availability to solve certain things
That's
is
right.
actually a better experience to your
That's
point.
right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What was your experience like bringing AI to life?
We've started, internally building our own chatbot,
Right.
years ago. So it was 2020. We had
Yeah.
some very simple functions on a chatbot that we built, and that was a great go into that space.
Like to get started
To
and to
get
get some
started.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think we learned quickly, like, dip your toe in the water. Let's start something and let's iterate. I think the opportunities come into play when you want to iterate and maybe the focus has gone elsewhere, and so you don't have those resources to keep it going and grow
Yeah.
it and iterate it. So that can sort of get stale, and you're
Yeah.
missing out on some
It's such
opportunity.
one of the questions I was going to ask you was about that, of like build versus buy, that I think a lot of people are going through. You guys actually had built something several years ago.
Not
Set
calling
and
our
forget.
baby ugly, are you?
No. It's more just it's a thing of AI is not a set and forget thing.
Yeah.
And I think some people think it might be, right?
Yeah.
Like as your business evolves, it needs to continue to evolve as things change, new things are available, you do new things. You open up in Mexico, for example, like it is not a set and forget thing. And so that lesson was, one, you're like, hey, you tried stuff, which was great. You put your toe in the water, so you felt comfortable with it. There's also a lesson there about the value of partnership, the value of it. It is important to continue to invest in it. It's not a set
Yeah.
and forget.
And we have some incredibly intelligent developers and innovators at Ulta that, would love to tackle building something like this. But there's also so many other use cases across the enterprise
Yeah.
where AI can be used. And I think because you're retail based, we're one of over 300 clients that you have that are retail focused. And so we're sort of all learning together. And so we can move faster with more confidence. And I would say that even to criticize my speed or pace at AI adoption, I feel like in hindsight I could have gone way faster. I
I
mean,
think you've gone very fast, was my point.
I feel like we
That's
could have gone
amazing.
faster. I feel like to your comment earlier, we are
You're methodical, but I didn't say you were slow.
we want to be careful.
Yeah.
I think the articles that you read about AI are more on the negative side. I think you read
Yeah.
I just read an article that 97% of AI projects fail and there's how many billions of dollars lost. I just
Yeah.
don't know what use cases those are.
Right.
That is not what I'm experiencing.
Right.
And so I think, that sort of creates a lot of apprehension to wanting to go. And I think once you dip your toe in the water, which I think across our contact channels, I could have moved faster because now we see, once we've enabled other forms of connection with the guest, that AI work that you're doing in one channel actually cares for other channels. You're writing one guide, you're teaching that AI across all channels at the same time, and you might as well unleash it. So
Yeah. So your experience was get started, get comfortable, and then it's pretty fast to move.
it's also, and you brought this up, you can't set it and forget it. It's like a human. I mean, it's like a human person. And I mean, how many updates in a customer care environment do you give to your humans? I mean, you've got hot news flashes and you've got newsletters and you've got your weekly and monthly training sessions. Like all that has to be put into your AI because it is acting like a human. And I think that is super key to build a care and feeding structure around your AI. not just to expand use cases, but to ensure that the engagement rates, the resolution rates, the tone, the customer satisfaction coming from it is all driving upward, and so it's very similar to supporting our humans.
Yeah, so that's been a theme in a lot of conversations we've been having. How are you organizing around AI? Like, I don't know the innards of your entire org and how you manage the whole team, but like I'm assuming you have managers that manage people and that they were, coaching them and reviewing with stuff with them. How do you think about organizing around the AI side of things?
Well, I can tell you what I'm doing now, and then what I'm thinking about for the out years here as it continues to scale. But it's really a function of our training and program management leaders. So our trainers know our knowledge base and processes the best. So they train and teach and fine tune. Our program managers, they look at the performance, they look at the value creation, they look at additional use cases, what's coming down the pipeline as we continue to scale omni-channel and internationally, and what can we do to prep AI to handle those engagements with guests very effectively and successfully.
So today, how you started, you took the same teams that are doing all the training and content for your associates, your people, and you're taking them and saying, oh, you also need to train AI for these things. And then the same team that's doing insights and analytics, that it's just an extension of that. You don't see it as like a separate thing. It's like, no, it's just part and parcel to the business, how you manage CX.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And Jackie Banducci on my team, training and quality manager, she handles all of the fine tuning and testing. And then Ron Brown, from a business perspective, is outlining all of the use cases and the value creation and building that in so that we can keep iterating. And that's worked really well. But I think, looking in the out years, it's really looking at structures of creating this AI optimization team, if you will, to look at the many use cases and the performance that comes from it. It's super important to get ahead of that and not feel like now you're back on your heels with all of this AI out there and you're not iterating on it, checking what you expect from it. It's gone really well for us, but again, I think we have a ton of new use cases to unleash to allow Sidekick to engage even more with our guests.
Yeah. When you're coming up with that roadmap, is there something that's a guiding principle for you on them? Yeah. How you prioritizing those use cases and figuring out which ones to go tackle?
Well, I think we take a pretty basic look at, let's stack rank all of our inquiries that are coming in. And then we chart out what do we think could be automated and what do we think is best to be handled completely by one of our specialists. And then we look at t-shirt sizing, the complexity of it.
Yeah.
So if we can build something that's of high value and a low effort, then we quadrant that out and we say, let's go after it. And your team has helped us out with this as well. But not only that, we don't think we know it all. We know we need help. And so we stay close with our peers too. And we understand, what has worked. Honestly, I haven't run into anything that's been a flop. Usually it's just, hey, we need to iterate, we need to update this guide, we need to allow Sidekick to engage. If we update our knowledge base article, Sidekick will be able to resolve this much more effectively. And I think that's just sort of the rigor that you need to go through. There's no real shortcuts to doing that.
Yeah, it is definitely, I think that you start off, you get like a really nice volume of stuff out the gate. And I think the work that you and the team have done, you can see it in the results, is just that constant iteration improvement. And like every week, every day, it's just doing more and more and more.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the broader team now. So you've talked a bunch about your team and how you're managing. How has AI changed the conversation you're having with the broader Ulta team, whether it's IT, whether it's e-commerce, like stores, like how is it changing those conversations?
Honestly, I think folks are learning from us more so. So they're seeing the success, they're seeing our announcements and wondering, hey, how can we do this both internally as well as guest facing? So we do have an IT help desk. We have 58,000 employees at Ulta Beauty. So that's a pretty big enterprise, and we have internal needs for AI. Our stores, our recruiting team, there's so many use cases for it. So really now we've matured into having an AI vision team and dedicated roles in technology on AI and program management on AI. And even within my team, it's each role, how am I updating responsibilities to include AI? Because really, again, we have to treat AI like it's one of us, one of our folks, and how do we best support it and start being strategic, looking in the out years of how we're going to plan the guest experience around AI use.
When you're engaging with, let's say, like the technology team, so it sounds like, because you've done a lot on your own, which has been a testament, I think, to one, your team and your team's desire to just jump in and get their feet wet and get started. As you expand those use cases, you're now connecting with other systems and people and processes at Ulta. Is AI making those conversations harder, easier?
Way easier. I would tell you the number one topic that comes up that you have to address right away that we've experienced is data accessibility. So AI works when you feed it data, and it has to be a two-way relationship. It's got to be actionable or agentic AI. And so we have the opportunity to feed more data so that it can be
Right.
actionable. And we're doing that now, and that's going to be super exciting. It's going to unlock a ton of capability.
Right. The thing I always say to people is AI stands for artificial intelligence. If you don't have the right intelligence, it's just going to be artificial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. So a lot of the work you're doing, and it sounds like AI is actually making it where the technology team is leaning in more on unlocking a lot more of those data accessibility, data availability, and not just data, but also API access is so important now, right? So you can do more agentic things, right?
100%. I think like when we talk about personalization, AI has that ability to move at light speed
Right.
for your favorite stylist name when you normally have your appointments. Have you scheduled this one yet? Can I help you with that? Jenny is available at your local store. Like, I think that's where it gets really exciting to be super hyper personal with guests. We talk about app use being super important.
Like mobile app use
Our
by
mobile, our
your
Ulta
guests.
Beauty app use, yes. And so being able to pipe in data about app usage and be able to reference promotions that are app specific, helping the guest through the app. Read an article once that if you delete an app off your phone because you didn't engage with it, you didn't like it, you have less than a 5% chance of ever downloading that app again, even though it could be amazing now. And so how can we like re-engage and think about loyalty and member retention and member engagement?
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking way beyond the typical use cases for CX and guest experience. You're thinking about, obviously doing the Q&A stuff, obviously doing cancel my order because I need to make a change or something. What's my order status? Like all those things. You're thinking even beyond that of like, really the idea that we talk a lot about is how do you leverage AI to deliver an ever more personalized experience that also happens to be ever more efficient for the guest, right? I mean, your example of the cancel an order is like, there is no queue for that, right? AI is infinitely available to solve that for you. It's like, hey, I need to cancel an order. Great. Let me help you with that right away. Like there's no waiting on that anymore.
Yeah.
But you're even thinking about going beyond that to say, okay, how can you take things from other channels, if you will, at Ulta to bring into that guest experience, right?
Yes, like, I think we're all trying to become profit drivers, and generating top line and retaining and re-engaging guests in retail. And I think, all of us in customer care trying to show that because we know we contribute to that, but it's very hard to measure sometimes. So that's where we want to go next is we want to look at, there's so many ways that we can influence the guest. And can we have influencer scores as specialists, or our AI have an influencer score? So has it introduced new members? Has it retained members, reactivated them within 12 months? Has it offered promotions that were taken advantage of by the guest, or suggested product, or encouraged a salon appointment to be made? There's just so many things. Our Ulta Beauty Rewards credit card, has it engaged applications or new card members? So there's just a ton of KPIs that we could be measuring to show top line value.
Yeah.
I think where we want to go is really to unlock all the influence that our specialists on the phone and AI Sidekick has on the guest experience. And there's a number of things besides your typical performance indicators in customer care. I mean, there are how you reactivate a guest. Did you create a new member? Did you reactivate a member after 12 months of inactivity? Are they an app user? Did you influence an app download? Did you influence a current promotion to be utilized? Did you suggestive sell anything? Did you engage the guest in salon? Is their favorite stylist that we should know with all the data sharing? Jenny at their local store, she's available, and they haven't set up their monthly schedule. Can we set that appointment for them?
Yeah.
Just so many things that we could do to unlock value and really sort of get into an influencer score, if you will. That's where I would like to go, and then tie that to top line or value.
I think that CX for a long time has really just been about, hey, we're going to have this conversation with this guest. We're going to, whatever it might be, we're going to help them. And the metric for success has been first contact resolution. Am I being productive with our conversation time? All important things. And I think what you're saying, which is really, I think is really powerful, that your view is that AI is going to unlock the capacity of the guest services or customer experience, broadly speaking, to start to do way more things, because it's going to take away the things that are high value to the guest, but like low value for a human being to do, right? Like telling me what my order status is, high value for me as a guest, really low value for Adam to do that work, right? But if you can start to unlock not only for AI, but also your people to be like, okay, now we're going to move to the higher order things, right? How do you get someone to join the membership and loyalty program? How do you get someone to buy a product? Like, it's really going to transform the role of CX in a big way.
Absolutely.
Which I think is, I think that's the part that I get very excited about too.
Absolutely. So. And I think it's more than just doing what's required to serve the guest with excellence, but get into that bonus section, like with all the top line.
The bonus section, I love that.
Yeah, like let's go. And I think that's the unlock, because there's just so many data points that we continue to have more and more of, that at some point you kind of like, it's not scalable for
it's hard for a human to consume all
get the right data at the right time, to have the right conversation at that moment that the guest is inquiring.
Yeah, so that's getting back to your point about like data accessibility is so important here, because the more intelligent you make your AI, the more it's going to be able to do.
Yes.
I think it's going to fundamentally change the way you think about your policies. I hate to use the word policies. You're going to make much more decisions which are guest dependent, right? This guest has been a member for 8 years.
Absolutely.
They spend a lot of money. They have monthly appointments at our salon. Like, yes, I know our exchange or return policies, whatever it is, 30 days, whatever. But for them,
60.
Okay, it's 60. Yeah, right. Or it might be longer. Like, you know what? I guess you're unhappy with that product. I'm just going to take care of it for you.
Yeah.
Because of all these other factors.
Yeah.
That you can take advantage of, which is really, really powerful.
100%. Like, I think it's just when we talk about personalization or even hyper personalization, you have to know the guest history, and you have to use that to your advantage to serve the guest.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like come all at once. Like, we're finding, like, you just have to make those incremental adds, those baby steps, but like keep forward progress going. I think you can get into the analysis paralysis stage of like, we want to get this exactly perfect, and we're going to wait until we do so, whether it's getting the exact right technology or the team built. And yes, those are important, but there are very easy ways to get going on some of the stuff and see like immediate results.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've been doing, and it's been working really good.
Yeah, it's been great to see, actually. It's great to be partnering.
Yeah.
Like the team right now in particular, I mean, the pace of doing stuff is really high.
Yeah.
And you see the results like the next day.
Yeah,
which
that's
is,
what's rewarding.
Yeah,
it's like you keep feeding it, feed the engine. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. How do you, you've got all these things going on. You've got international expansion, you've got meet the guests in lots of places, like you make sure that the app is front and center, you have the guest services team, you've got influencers. Like, how do all these pieces all fit together?
Okay, well, I'm no marketing expert, let me just say that. However,
but you have a hand in it. I mean, like you touch
it's front
and engage.
And I would say, like, first we want to deliver a great experience to all guests, but we're
Right.
clearly want to appeal to the younger generation. And while I don't claim to be an expert, even though I do have two Gen Zers,
Who keep you on your
they do
toes.
keep me on my toes. They're awesome, and I would say we have a communities section on our site and app now, our Ulta Beauty communities, and it's great. It predominantly attracts younger gen guests that want to have conversations about Ulta and about rewards and about their haul and all that, fun stuff. So our influencer community is so key to us. There's
Yeah.
so much trust among the influencer community. We actually have an associate influencer community as well.
That's people that are Ulta
Ulta
employees, Ulta
Ulta employees,
associates?
yeah, they're part of our influencer group. So we think that's super important to connect and build trust and spread the word of our newness that we have launched for brands. We've launched, let's see, Q2, we launched 24 brands, 24 new brands. That's exciting. Marketplace, as I mentioned, added
Yeah.
another 100 brands. So I think newness is key, and relevance to our guest is key. And I think we're engaging with guests in more places, whether it's
Yeah.
Lollapalooza or it's during the Super Bowl. It's very cool what we're doing. And I think it just helps us engage with more of our guests where they are.
Yeah, I love it. How do you think about when you think about your associates and AI, how do you see those two coexisting, working together, competing?
What I see us turning into is our associates or our specialists, and maybe you're talking one or the other, but using AI as an assistant for themselves as
Yeah,
well.
this is what I'm asking. Like, how are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I think they're going to be dependent upon AI to help solve problems for the
Yeah.
guest at hand and take away a lot of the complexity and a lot of the keystrokes and the different systems used to get data to serve the guest. And what we'd like to build is a handoff and hand back situation. So there could be a time when a human invokes AI to help the guest finish off the situation. That's an actual better experience for the guest, more timely, more consistent. So I think it's a two-way relationship, and I feel like we're all going to have our own personal assistants. We kind of do a little bit today, and I think we're just going to expand on that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely that's where we're going. I just think this idea of AI and people working hand in hand, we think about the role of AI, it may be doing 95% of our conversation, but maybe it just wants to check with someone on your team to make sure, hey, it's okay if I do this.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually hand it off to
Yeah.
anyone on your team, but it's looking for approval, if you will,
Yes.
and then it finishes. And I just think that world is,
Yeah.
we're so early in this journey, and it's super exciting. And
Yeah, I mean, retail is, it's a beast during the holiday season, right? You are staffing up. You have folks that
Right.
are just trained up to serve your guests that are going to be there for a short season. And
right.
I mean, can AI just, sketch out, hey, you have 3 things that you could do here.
Yeah.
Here's sort of your options to serve the situation. What would you like to do?
Yeah.
And I think that just helps alleviate like the training curve and allows your specialist to serve the guest
Yeah.
much better.
The name of the podcast is Radically Personal. And so one of the things that I ask everybody who comes on is to share something radically personal about themselves. So what's something that we don't know about Adam that is
Because you know a lot about me. Radically personal.
I mean, I did learn that. I didn't know at 17 you were working
Yeah.
on as a sales.
You know when I was selling my very first product?
Okay, this is good. Your very first product you ever sold in a contact center was?
The Discover Card.
What?
Discover Card debuted. Nobody had ever heard of a credit card that gave you cash back. Today, that's all you hear. But back then, you sold them faster than you could speak. It was incredible. And then I also sold beauty products.
You did not.
At age 17. World of Beauty, they're still around. World of Beauty, I guess this has come full circle. This is kind of I'm having an out-of-body experience right now. But I sold World of Beauty products, and I pushed the earth tone palettes. Sold them like hotcakes. Like
You mean
earth
you
tones.
figured out that earth tone
Earth
palettes
tone. So I was 17 years old, over the phone selling World of Beauty makeup, pushing the earth tones.
Do you think it would look good?
I think it would, honestly.
Sell me some earth tones.
I will see if you have them from 25 years ago still. And
I'm sure Ulta has some earth tones
yes, we
today.
do.
Yeah,
I think I can hook you up.
that's awesome. That's great. Listen, I just want to say thank you to you, the whole team, on behalf of the whole team at Gladly. Like, the partnership with you and everyone at Ulta has been incredible and been through a lot of stuff. I mean, the last 6 years in retail has been a lot of change. And I just feel like we have navigated that together and in a way that I'm just super proud of. And we're super proud to be partners with you. And just thank you. Thank
No,
you to you and everybody.
I
So,
appreciate that. Thank you. You guys are so easy to work with. And we have gone a long way since the middle of the pandemic when we launched. And
actually, we were like 3 months into it.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
May of 2020.
it's great. Your team from the back of the house to the front of the house, they're fantastic. And household names like Eliza and the team that we
Yeah.
talk to still today, 5.5 years later, it's pretty
Yeah.
darn incredible. So
Well, we appreciate it. So thanks for taking the time to chat with us today.
thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Sounds good. Thanks.